Hey everybody, it's Christiana Mall here from Lunar Power. Hope everybody's having a great day. So in our previous video, we're talking a lot about self-esteem. Part of self-esteem and building your self-esteem is having conversations with people. That isn't always easy. I mean, how many times have you wanted to have a conversation with somebody but you didn't because you were afraid? How many times did you hold in your feelings and not express what you need to express? Perhaps you didn't have the tools to do it. Perhaps you were just scared of what that other person was going to say. Was it going to change their perception of you? There are a lot of things that hold us back from having the conversations that we want to have. So in this video, I really want to discuss with you the ways that we can communicate better. Once you start having these conversations with people, you're going to get more confident in your skills. You're not going to be scared to have these conversations. They're not going to blow up and be very big. That way you can talk about your needs, they can talk about their needs. Perhaps you're talking about a situation that happened. You can talk about your perception of the situation and their perception of the situation. And just talk it out. So being able to talk situations out, talk things out is just really a crucial part of our lives, crucial part of building our self-esteem. It's a crucial part of being true to yourself. Okay, so this video is entitled 10 Ways to Communicate Better. Okay, bear with me, it's my third video, okay? All right, so step 1, speak when you are calm. If you are speaking from a state of emotions, whether it be very sad or very angry, you're going to communicate much more differently than when you're at a calm or level mind. If you're angry, it's going to completely change how you communicate. It's going to change your energy, and the other person is going to have their defenses much higher. If you're completely heartbroken and sad, you might be feeling clingy to the person, so you might not be thinking particularly about their needs at that time. So it's important just to have as clear a mind as you can. Again, emotions are temporary, they will come and go, so try and have the conversations, if they're serious, when you have a clear mind. Sometimes it's better just to go to sleep and wake up with a fresh, clear mind rather than just to force the situation. It just depends, okay? But you don't want to go into a situation angry. It's not going to be good. All right. Step number 2, delete any preconceived answers or expectations. Have no expectations. That's just a general life rule, at least for me. Because when you have expectations and they're not met, you're just asking for trouble. You're going to be really sad. You're going to be really disappointed. So just going with the flow of life and not putting up all these roadblocks like, oh my gosh, I don't want this. Oh, I don't want that. It's a painful way to live. So just going with the flow is a lot easier than just being really scared all the time. So, yeah, don't have any expectations of what is going to happen. If you go in thinking that your boss is not going to agree with you, if you go in thinking that you're not going to get the job, if you go into the situation thinking that the person is not going to see it your way, then 10 to 1, because of the energy that you're putting out and the thoughts that you're putting out, that's probably going to manifest into the truth. So when we open up our mind to all the possibilities, that's when we can get some real honest communication, and you can kind of really figure out what their side of the story is, or why perhaps they acted the way they did or spoke the way that they did. Yeah, so don't block them off. They could completely be they could completely have good intentions, and because you assume that they have bad intentions, you'd never see it. So it's better to start off positive. Step number 3, this is what I was getting to. Assume innocence and assume that they have good intentions. Okay. So we kind of talked about that. Don't assume that the person meant something bad. This was really good in peer mediation as well. I did this a lot at work. When two people are having an argument with each other, a lot of times when somebody acted a certain way, 10 to 1 in my life, I'm blessed to have mostly good people in my life. So, I go into the situation and saying, you both are good people. I'm sure you have really great intentions in what you did. It's just sometimes this person's action will come across a different way than that person intended. So maybe they made a joke, but they were joking around, but the other person took offense to it. And you can never really tell how somebody's going to take an action or a few words. So yeah, it's best to be able to just sit down, air it all out, and there's no right or wrong. I mean, if the person had good intentions, or maybe they didn't, but you definitely want to start off with the assumption that they did. Okay. All right. Yeah, again, really good in peer mediation, just to be able to talk it out and figure out how the other person viewed the situation. All right, seek to understand the other person's point of view. Again, part of peer mediation, part of conversations that you're going to have with people every day. Try to understand the other person's point of view. Let's say I have a friend who is a workaholic, and I definitely do. Now, let's say that person didn't call you, and you're expecting a call from them, or you haven't heard from them in a long time, or something like that. You really have to think about, well, what are all the things that this person has on his plate? He probably has things going on with his family, he might have things going on with his own health, he might have, his job might be really overwhelming him right now. So part of this is assuming good intentions, but really seek to understand it from their point of view. Perhaps it 10 to 1 is nothing personal. It's just, it wasn't, how do I want to say it? Yeah, they didn't mean anything by it, but again, it's just understanding where they're coming from. So their actions are going to be a little bit different than your actions, perhaps, in that situation. So, so taking your feet out of your own shoes, putting it in their shoes for a little while is going to help you to be able to understand them a little bit better. Alrighty. Step 5, be kind, polite, and respectful. Even if you have the best point in the world in a conversation, if you have to bring up something that you're like coaching somebody at your job, even if I have the best intentions in the world and I know that this rule is correct, the way in which I deliver that message is super, super important. So if I become unkind or I become disrespectful, that person's going to immediately turn off, and anything that I have to say is not going to go in and stay in. It's just going to go in one ear and out the other. So yeah, again, no matter what you want to communicate, always stay kind and stay polite when you're having a conversation with somebody, and you're trying to reach a resolution. Okay. Next step, do not interrupt. Because when you interrupt, you're saying, in essence, that what I have to say is more important than you. You're saying I'm more important than you, and that's not something that you really want to say. And it's kind of rude. I mean, I don't like it when people interrupt me. Although some people do, like, continuously talk, and it's hard to try and get a word in. But you do want to show them respect and let them finish. All right, number 7, really listen. So really listening means you're not thinking about the next thing that you want to say. You're not thinking about when you want to jump in next. It's better to listen more and speak less. So yeah, when you communicate, you really want to make sure that you're hearing the information. You're not just thinking about yourself, and you're taking the information in. It sounds really simple, but if you really think about it, how often in life do we really, really consciously listen and be present? Step number 8, embrace differences. It's okay to be different. I will say it again, it is okay to be different. We all do not need to be the same, and this is something I struggle with for the longest, because I see things in a detail that perhaps other people will not see it. I have a work ethic that's different than other people. And you can't judge yourself based or judge other people based on how you are. You can't expect everybody to be like you. Everybody is on different parts of the path, and that is okay. The path meaning maybe the path to enlightenment, the path on their life, just in general. We've all learned different things. So, yeah, and that's okay. Why is it okay? Because people can teach you different things. If we were all different, if we're all the same, it'd be really hard to learn things. But because we're all different, we all have different skills, different things that we're good at, different things we're passionate about. It's really kind of cool because you can learn from each other. So embrace the differences. You do not have to agree. You can say your side of the story, they can say their side of the story, but if you're remaining kind, politeful, respectful, then sometimes all you can do is just say your piece and agree to disagree. And it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to come out of it with an agreement to think the same exact thing. Cool. Step number 9, examine the purpose of the conversation. So, yeah, I think about this a lot before I have the conversation and I go into it. So, what is the purpose of the conversation? Now, if you are sad and let's say you broke up with somebody and you wanted to call that person. Now, what would be the purpose of that conversation? It's probably because you're lonely. It's probably because you have an attachment towards that person. In all honesty, it might not always be the best thing to do is to call that person. So you really have to think about what is the intention behind this. Is it just because I have this temporary emotion of sadness or I don't want to be lonely? Or do I have a really good intention like, I don't know. You can think of a good intention. But yeah, just really examining your intentions. This goes with anger too. Are you contacting this person because you're really frustrated and you just want to lash out at them? Make sure you have good intentions and make sure you have a calm mind before you start the conversation. So let's say I had one of my team do something that really frustrated me. And let's say I've had the conversation many times about, I don't know, just how a dish is made. And they're still sending up the dish in the incorrect manner. What is my intention for that conversation? The intention isn't to make them feel bad. The intention is to get the dish to look right. So, I have to take the emotion out of it and try and seek a resolution. All right. Let's see. Sorry, I had my notes down here. I don't know if I said that already. Okay. So, release fear and love yourself first. This is step number 10. This is the last one, and it's probably the most important one. Fear stops us from doing so many things, because I probably made so many supposedly mistakes making this video, but I'm still talking anyway. I'm not perfect, and I want to do this in one take just so you can see that that it's okay to be human and speak your truth. So don't be afraid to have conversations because people are going to judge you anyway, regardless. So you're not going to avoid it if you don't have a conversation. You're still going to get judged anyway. And you know what? It's going to happen. So it's okay. It is what it is. So yeah, the more you let fear stop you, you're not being your authentic self. And eventually it's going to build up in your body. And you're not going to feel good. You're not going to feel confident. So you got to just kick fear in the face and say, forget you. Excuse that analogy. But we can't focus on that fear. Just got to go for it. So it's about self-love. It's about being true to yourself. So step number 10 for good communication is just being true to yourself, letting go of the fear, just have the conversation. And the more you have these conversations, the more you see things from the other person's point of view, the more you take your emotion out of it and just look at it from a very logical, best you can, very logical point of view. it's a lot easier. So go in with the mindset of, what is my intention for the conversation? Is it to seek a resolution about the situation? Then both people will talk about the situation, their views on the situation. You can brainstorm some action plans together, make a plan for next time. But it's kind of something that I've learned through business is how to have these conversations, how to work through problems. Because growing up in the house that I did, it was, and in any house, it's more an emotional conversation. So it's a lot more different than a business conversation. And, but we still have to use kind of the same idea, which is sometimes just wait till you're calm, be organized in how you want to have the conversation. But most of all, just have it. You're not going to be perfect, but you're going to feel so much better once you are done, once it's off your mind. Yeah. So get out there. If you're thinking about having a conversation with somebody and you're not, I'm like speaking to myself, I feel like sometimes. Just do it. Just do it. Just have the conversation. It'll be okay. And yeah, if the person's a healthy person for you in your life, I just want to say that. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Check out my blog, lunarpower.net. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the subscribers. I appreciate it. And then as I learn more, I will definitely be coming to you. I still have a whole notebook of things that I want to talk about. So have a great day, guys. Thanks.